What's funny is I'm talking to you. I don't see you in the lobby. Oh, here we go. Yep. I'm letting you in right now.
Because I want to take all the podcasts we've done. It says you can transcribe them. So I got to the point where I opened it up, I hit upload, found the file, I could see it there, but
Yeah.
then there was like an extra step you have to use. They give you like four choices, like three or four different programs to use to actually transcribe rather than not right on Chat GPT. Is that right? Or can you do it right on that? Or do you need one more app to be compatible with it or something?
I'm not sure. I haven't used ChatGPT um, for the AI against video. So that's a good question.
Okay, well, I
You're
no rush.
forging new territory for us. Nice.
Well, yeah, you got me on this thing. I'm just trying to play a little catch up here. So,
You know what AI is to me? It's it's justification of my laziness. Like I am so lazy and I'm being rewarded for it. Yes.
work smarter, not harder, right?
Okay, that sounds actually that's what people who don't admit they're lazy say.
Listen, it's however you get that productivity. I wouldn't doubt that you. So, good stuff. I promised you.
Yeah, we got a story here.
I had a video that I was going to bring on, but I think I'm going to wait because of kind of that thing that we talked about that we're going to do with John when he comes on. I'd rather
Okay.
use that time for that and use the video for next week. Which, by the way, I think Kathy Weisberg Sweeney said she would come on. I think I'll.
Oh,
Alan
okay.
Hodge said 2 weeks from now, but I'll try to get Kathy for next week. So if that works, that'd be
That,
cool. You have
that
a, you
should.
have a story about that, you said so.
I mean, we'll see if she's still talking to us after.
Okay, I only know a little bit of it, but I can't wait to hear the full version. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
it'll be good. It'll be good.
all right.
Good
What else?
week.
Yeah, it's all
It's been
right.
like a week and a half, so
That's right. We did Nate. Ooh, a little inside baseball. That was actually a sunny night. My parents. I have no one lurking in the shadows behind the screen that's going to jump out. No one of prominence. No one at all.
no cameos expected.
Yeah, not this time.
Your
Yeah, that was
dad, his
fun.
head coming in from the side. Hey.
I watched it again too because before it went out, and it was just so funny. Like you were like, "Hey, a little heads up next time if you have," because we were,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I wouldn't have given you a heads up if somebody was going to pop in.
yeah,
The sheer shock value is worth it.
yeah. It was good TV right there.
It was good TV. Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing. So what's going on? What's the weather up there? We got a little bit of snow this week.
you did interesting. Yeah, we've got kind of the typical, few inches here every few days. Yeah, it's haven't seen the grass in couple months, but looks like a little bit of thaw next week, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, but oh, yeah, funny story. I was going to tell you. I was in, so I was getting my hair cut from my soon son-in-law to be Connor, and he was like, I had an interesting client the other day, and he talks like a little bit with everybody, and he asked the guy, what you've been doing, and the guy said, I was in LA. Like, oh, well, actually, he said, what were you doing in LA? He goes, well, my daughter was a contestant on The Voice.
The Voice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the girl is like a
Impressive.
sophomore at our high school, West Seneca West High School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she was
He's young.
trained by Snoop Dogg and what I don't watch the show that regularly, but I watched it because every time she was on, Amy would tell me to come
Yeah.
in. She was legit. Like she was incredible. But West Seneca West has a really tremendous music program. And the funny part was, so like when Anna was an athlete, she played sports, but she played in the band for a while and clarinet
Don't
up
knock it.
until like
Don't knock it.
I'm not. No, it was great, but the time demands became too much, and they
Yeah.
resented her because you know, band would be 8 o'clock in the morning, first thing, and she strolled in at like 7:58, and just they had been there for a half hour tuning and everything, and
Yeah.
she but so they had this funny thing where they were all going to be kind of talk about the standards of the program, but so there was a big play that the high school puts on, and it's advertised all over. It runs for like 5 days, and it's really good. Like every year it's something different. This year it's Les Miserables, and so the father of the girl that was on The Voice, he said, "Yeah, my daughter's in the play, but yeah, her character, she's not even the lead, and her character dies halfway through." So that's something pretty good.
Well,
The
how
rest
far did she get on The Voice?
finished third.
She finished third.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She
I
finished
thought you
third.
were saying she was just still in like the contestant stage before they choose the finalists. That's crazy.
She finished third on The Voice in this past
Wow.
season.
Okay, that's impressive.
So she naturally, when she was in the program, she had to go back and forth to LA and do this. So
I
it
bet she gets a
probably,
lead role next year.
I'm pretty sure she's got an inside track if she, yeah. So it's
Wow.
probably because they knew she couldn't commit fully, but still funny to think that, but got to know all the judges and they were really cool. And so,
I think that'd be fun if you had talent.
yeah, you talk about that all the time. You've got some good talents. Maybe we're not singing, but anyway.
Yeah, I'm like jack of all, master of none type of
You're
thing.
great at this.
Hey, we've got somebody in the waiting room already. If
Is
we're,
he?
yeah,
This is
I
this.
think he's anxious.
I think so. Let's go. Let's get right to it.
Let's savor it for a minute here.
Let's set him up for.
Yeah, let's. I'd like you to give me an introduction of this person for our for people that may not know him.
He is so right in our wheelhouse in terms of the years that we served. I had to do this research for the book when I did the chapters on the barge crew, the boats, and
Yeah,
he was on boats in '86, '87 for whatever reason he went to rec staff, and then '88 he came back to boats. So there was a lot of moving parts then.
yeah,
So '86 he worked with you
yeah.
and Jimmy, and Mike Bazzano was head, and then '87 Jimmy was head, and John was. Oh, maybe there's a connection. We'll learn something about that when Jimmy came running at the van with his. And then just a great time with him, and it like the signature thing. And I was talking to Jim Olson today, and I told him John was going to be on. He's like, "Is he still the rock and roll crustacean that can memorize every music line that ever comes on?" And it's like, well, we're going to find out.
We are going to find out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you wrote about that, but you wrote about also tubing. He just had this amazing, however he did
Don't
it,
say it.
ability to
Don't
stay in
say
a
it.
tube.
We're going to read it. We're going to read it.
Perfect,
It's
perfect.
going to be good. Yeah, I'm excited for his reaction to that because
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if he knows what he's in for here. He's been he'll explain why. We talked about this too. He's been a little out of the loop in multiple ways, but put it this way, you and I both know from our talking to him, it's great news that he feels up to doing this and more. So he'll explain. He said he would.
do you have your phone with you?
I sure do.
Okay, you're going to need it. We'll have to make sure. Let's let this boy in here and start going. Now, I will say this: we have more technology in this episode than we have in the past, so it'd be remarkable if nothing goes wrong. We're gonna try some new stuff.
Dollars, John.
Start video. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Click. That's the one. Start video.
There it is. Hey!
Hey, there we go.
All right. Good to see you, man.
Dude,
Gentlemen, how are you?
Excellent.
You guys
awesome.
are great. You guys are great.
You do too. Yeah, look at
It's
you.
good to see you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's
John,
been a
how long has it been?
man. I was thinking about it today. Way too long, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what my problem is. We need to stay in touch a little better.
We do.
Yeah.
So,
Where
This
are we
is
calling you
fantastic.
from?
what's that?
Where-
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale. Okay.
Yep.
I'm in Virginia. Don's in
Nice.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Now,
Nice.
John, actually, I sent you that picture today, Tom. We could throw it up there
Yeah.
later, but I've actually seen him since before you did or after you did. He shocked the heck out of me.
Showed up at a game.
We'll talk. We'll pull up that picture.
We'll
And
show that picture.
he was in Jacksonville.
Ah,
You remember? All right. Yeah, I actually had got a picture. Yeah, so
what year?
like 2012. Does that sound 2013-ish?
'cause I was in Jacksonville this past summer, and then
Okay.
I lived in Jacksonville for a few years.
Okay. Well, we got that window, whatever that was.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when that was. That was, yeah, it may have been around that time.
What famous rock and roll band is from Jacksonville?
Um,
Trying to think.
hmm.
Has to be one. Thomas?
Maybe 38 Special?
Oh, it could be. I was thinking Leonard Skinner. We might have.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Leonard Skinner. I was almost gonna say Tom Petty, but then I'm like, no, that's Gainesville.
Gainesville, yeah.
That was Gainesville.
Yeah. You see how I just dropped that? I found a.
Turns out it's Leonard Skinner and 38 Special.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're actually brothers, aren't they? But I think also the Allman Brothers. Molly Hatchet,
Wow.
Limp Bizkit.
Jeez. Now we're going old school.
Oh,
it's fun.
get ready. Get settled into
So-
that, baby.
So, John, we introduced you as the Rock and Roll Crustacean. Is
Crustacean.
is
Yes.
it still accurate?
Gotta spell
It is. I've obviously maintained the rock and roll roots, but I have kind of ventured off a little bit into country the last few years.
I don't even know you anymore, man.
Was that a Bon Jovi deviation?
That's okay.
No, I had to go into the, kind of veered off a little bit into the country. I guess more the traditional country, not the newer pop country up today.
So like Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash, Alan Jackson, George Strait.
How do you feel about Jerry Reed?
Not very familiar, but
Okay, we'll get some Jerry. I like his stuff because it's comedy. It's
It's
like fun, it's like funny.
Toby Keith would we put in that category?
yeah, don't mind Toby at all.
Yeah. So those concentric circles of classic rock and country, the kind you're talking about, how far do they intersect? Are we
Venn diagram here? We're doing
20%, 25% kind of linkage?
Yeah, it's kind of a stretch.
Okay.
But we'll go with like 20-25%.
Okay.
I love how we're just jumping right into this now. John, did you listen to any music today?
Very little actually.
Okay. What was it though?
And again, it's like my iPod collection. It's all over the map. We had listening to the classic rock station down here, so it was a little bit of it was actually Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster.
There you go.
And that was followed up with the Who actually.
Okay.
Right.
And then I kind of drifted a little bit into the country sector.
All good. That's all.
It's good stuff. So we have got a lot.
We've got a lot.
We have got a lot. Have you watched any of these podcasts at all?
I have. I saw a couple of them. The one you guys did a while ago with Beth Markle, and then I saw the ones you had 2 or 3 with Jimmy O.
Yeah, he's been on a couple times.
That I've watched those. There was one with Bruce O'Byrne. Kind of caught a little bit of that one.
All right, so
So I've
you
watched
know
them
what
when
you're
I
in for here. You know this.
Yes.
You know what's going on. Okay.
Yep.
We're gonna jump right in, and because you've seen that, we actually, Don, we skipped something we normally do.
John, you should know. Usually, Tom and I talk for like
10
we
minutes
do before we bring on a guest. But with you, man, we brought you right on because it was like
Well,
we were excited. Yeah, we want to get started here. So
I just don't want to be that guy that wrecks the ratings.
uh,
I think he'll be okay.
that's reserved for me.
Oh.
So yeah, so let's just we didn't do this, Don. We didn't go over who's been on. We've had quite a few folks on already.
Yeah.
All the
Yep.
folks at the top here. Last week, met with Nate Forrester. That was a great call. We're still looking, by the way, for Beth Dodds. If you know how to get in touch with her.
I called, as per Bruce O'Byrne's advice today, I called the Taylor University Alumni Department. I got their voicemail, but I left a message just saying I didn't figure they'd just, give us her information. But I said, I'm going to send you an email. Could you forward the email? And then I can't imagine why they wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, we'll still be looking for her. Okay. Here's where technology comes into play. John, do you have your phone with you as well?
I do.
Okay. I don't know how this is going to go. We're going to give it a shot, but there's a new segment we're introducing just for you.
Wow.
This is called the Rock and Roll Crustacean Roundup. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So here it is. I'm going to need you to scan this QR code with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to bring up a poll. I need to start the poll. Let me start it.
Okay.
All right. So are you seeing?
Okay.
Are you
I got it now.
Here? Yeah. So we should be able to scan that one. All right. That's a lesson learned for Tom. I'm going to stop sharing because we don't need that. Put your email up at the top and then start filling it out.
Oh, I get it. Okay. All right. You got any Jeopardy music or anything you want to? Ooh. Man, these are.
All right. I'm done. My responses are submitted.
My responses have been recorded.
I have a. I got a question. Remind me to ask about number 5.
All right.
I was almost kind of insulted about 6.
Okay.
I kept scrolling to see if there was any more responses.
All right, I'm going to end the poll.
Okay.
Their results. Are you seeing the results here?
Yeah, on the screen. On the screen.
Okay. So let's see how. Okay. Apparently, all three of us agree that the Beatles are better than Elvis. That is good. We all agreed on the Eagles over the Allman Brothers. Also,
Yep.
That's also good there.
No debate.
We're split. All right, who chose Van Halen over Rush? That's John.
Yeah. And that is me, I have to admit.
He's consistent because I remember he encouraged me to not, he took me off the edge of walked me off the ledge when Sandy Hagar joined. He's like, they'll be okay, and they were in '85 or it was '85 or '86, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it was a tough choice, I admit. Who chose Phil Collins over Genesis?
I did that because I have a story, because I watched a documentary on that, and because sometime I will. It can't be. It's really. It's a bad choice by me, but I have to defend it only to remind me of the story. Watching the documentary, when Phil Collins went out on his own, the guys from Genesis, whether it was Mike Rutherford, not Peter Gabriel, he was gone by then, but and they were kind of curious to know like how he was going to sound.
Yep.
And then they heard In the Air Tonight and watched it. They were like, man, we thought he would be good. We were hoping he would be good, but did he have to be that good?
That's funny.
Yep.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
it's really, I really can't defend the choice because, I mean, Genesis had Phil Collins in it with Peter Gabriel, but I couldn't have told that story, I guess.
No. All right. And then, we all chose Billy Joel over Bon Jovi. Very interesting.
Wow.
And
now here's my question. Okay, go ahead. 6 is going to be That's going to be a nail biter.
I only
Yes.
chose Wham. I chose Wham to be a jerk. I think we would
Just,
all agree.
I was going to say somebody has some explaining to do.
I think it's a joke. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
you've got your finger on the pulse of this because we've got to talk to John more because this podcast is going to be, we're going to dig into what he's been doing and memories of him. But I love this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We have to, I think this has to be a feature some way, somehow going forward. I don't know what it looks like, but that gave a pretty good pathway toward.
I just need to remember the QR code that I copied and put in there. It's expired, obviously. I needed a fresh one. That was the
Gotcha.
issue.
Okay, now here's my how do I handle this? If someone says to me, "What is the first concert you ever saw?" Here's what happened. It was 1984. The Scorpions were the rage. They had "Love It" for the Sting album. It was Mike Mazzano, Ron Kukin, Scott Olson. It was early June of '84. Went to Glens Falls Civic Center, a couple other guys, and we went to see the Scorpions crushing the "Love It" for Sting album. And we get the tickets, hardcover tickets. I forget who went. We gave them the money. They came back, and we were going. And look at the ticket. The Scorpions, with special guest John Bon Jovi. So he opened, and he had one song, "She's a Little Runaway," which we knew we'd heard it on Pix 106. Now, when someone says, "What's the first concert you ever went to?" my first instinct would be to say the Scorpions because that was what I intended. Like, I didn't know, but technically, the first band I ever saw live was Bon Jovi.
Oh, because they opened.
Right.
Because they opened,
What's the answer? I don't know.
Yep.
It's kind of like when you say you the first time you ever meet somebody is on Zoom. Did you actually meet them? Like usually a meeting has to consummate with a handshake. I don't know. That's
right. No, I mean there's a little gray there, but I think it's. I would lead with the Scorpions too. Judging from the poll too, I would lead with the Scorpions.
Okay. Yeah.
In this crowd, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll put them on the list next time.
Because I remember, I can even remember a couple of us went to go see Robert Plant at the old Saratoga Performing Arts Center.
I went.
That was phenomenal.
Cheap Trick opened.
Yep, that was really, really good.
Yeah, he did like
that would have been
3 or 4 Zeppelin songs. That was, I think Tom had a teen event that night, if I recall.
But yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
So, John, are you aware Don wrote a book?
I am.
Have you seen it or read it?
Yes, I have a copy, and I'm probably 3/4 of the way through it.
Okay, so you're familiar, and I joke with all my friends that I'm referenced 63 times in the book.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I know that because I went on the Kindle version and counted. So, but when Don told me he was writing the book, I actually wrote down some stuff. I gave it all to him if he wanted to use any of it, but mainly it was so my kids could have an understanding of camp because just. And I don't believe they still do. You kind of have to experience it, would you say?
Well, yeah.
Understand it. Anyway, in writing that up, of course, I tried to describe the barge captains. And so I want to share with you what I wrote about you. So, John Belland, this is your life.
Not sure if I should be scared or.
You should not be scared. Here we go. That's the non-working QR code. Okay. And this is a segment on these shows that we call Storytime with Tom. Storytime with Tom. Here it goes. And again, this is, I think I described Mike, John, Jimmy, and then there was me because we were kind of my first year there. So this is describing the first year that you were there. I'm going to move this out of the way, sorry. John Belland epitomized all of the qualities of the best barge captains. Qualities such as ability to back a boat to the dock in one try, appreciation of a good prank, being good in sunglasses, willingness to join in on any crazy activity, and most importantly, extreme gregariousness. Don was not there most of that summer because he was working a fishing boat in Alaska, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was in Alaska. I worked, yes, not in a fishing boat, but other jobs. But yes, that's where I was that summer. Yeah.
So I didn't really know too many people there at all. So without Don at camp my first summer, I really appreciated John's friendship. John knew every person in camp. So knowing John was a very efficient way to make friends my first year. That is, there's never been a truer statement. I think you knew every single person there. And it was great because all I had to do was hang out with you and I was in.
Yeah. Yep. Well
put.
All right, let me continue here. This one has a visual.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh yes.
Here we go. More than any other skill, John may be the world's best tubist,
Tuberist.
tuberist and tubingist. Okay. He was the most skilled person to ever sit in a tube pulled by a boat. I couldn't find the right word. But you remember were they called sea biscuits?
Yes, I think
And they're
so.
not, my friends have them now and they have the canvas on the top.
Yes.
Which is stupid. I hate that.
Yep.
Ours had, just like the picture here, it was open and you could sit and hunker down in there.
Yes. And I thought I maybe helped innovate that to some degree. Everybody thought I was nuts trying to sit in the tube, but I felt that you had more somewhat control of the tube. You could just kind of shift your body weight to the left or to the right to kind of offset. Like if you were being pulled to the left, you could always lean a little bit to the right to kind of offset the pull a little bit. Whereas most people just kind of laid, stomach first on top of the tube.
You mean most idiots?
You have no control over that.
We're hearing from the master.
Yes, we are hearing.
We got to read.
Master. Yes, let me continue reading this and then we'll finish talking about this because it's amazing. He was able to bury himself so that only his head and his furthest extremities were visible from the spotter's seat. I mean, all you could see was your head and like your hands and your little feet sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of your body was completely buried in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the letter C, almost.
Yeah, exactly. Extricating him from that tube was only possible if you could somehow launch the tube and cause it to land inverted. Even then, he seemed to impossibly hang on while being dragged underwater as if he could somehow right the tube by his will. He would only let go of the tube after the certain futility had dawned on him. John was fearless. Full of life, John was the soul of the barge captains. I just have so many memories of, I mean, let's be honest, we were trying to kill you. In that
We resorted, Steve Solom came up with the idea, we're going to go pick up the canisters after dinner.
Yes.
And whatever apple pie they didn't throw away, we're just going to throw pieces of apple pie at them. And if you're going 30 miles an hour, all you have to do is throw it out there a little bit, and it immediately goes 30 miles an hour. So any more you throw it is only, and it could hit. But
I was hit with cornbread. I was hit with bug juice. I was hit with all kinds of foreign objects.
Oh my gosh! I remember launching you. Like, I think sometimes we brought the fish nautique out.
Yes.
Turn up the water.
Just to make waves in front of me, yes.
And then launch you over it. I remember watching you 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Land the tube and tube away from it 99% of the time. It was unconscious. Oh my gosh.
The anticipation of watching John in the tube on a whip approaching those fish nautique waves.
And it was bad because anytime a boat would go by, whoever was driving would always make that turn to go right into the boat.
Oh, we're like, yes! Bigger waves. Oh my gosh. Now, do you remember when we got a second tube? and we did battle tubes.
Yes.
And I tell my kids, no, not trying to be humble whatsoever, but there has never been a better battle tubing team than John and Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how two of us got down inside that tube, but we did.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, probably.
I don't like to think about it too much right now, but we
You
were
did what you had to do.
But I mean, two tubes, two men on each tube, and the third team was the driver trying to kill all four of you.
Yes.
And just if I remember, I got good at this. You could keep one tube in the wake and get the other one out and straighten your lineup and get them to land on top of each other.
Yep. And I think we did. I think we messed around with the lengths of the ropes too. Like we would purposely make one significantly longer than the other one.
Yes.
Or shorter for some
so you
reason.
could decapitate someone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it was fun too. Because I remember, whoever was doing the boat shack that day, whatever, we'd always talk about it throughout the day. Looking forward to after 5, we could go out. We're going tubing. Yep, we're going tubing. Yep, that was like the highlight of the day.
Oh,
yeah. Absolutely! Oh my gosh,
that was a run.
The memories are just too good.
And then after that, just whatever was left of us, we'd somehow drag ourselves to Towers Pizza and look at the battle scars.
Yeah, and we said, well, for those of us that were on top of the tube that way, we're just raw.
Oh yeah.
Forearm to underarm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this. You must be then familiar with the segment on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've figured out this segment is all about Mrs. Purdy. So remember, all your answers are going to Joanne. And
oh boy.
Yep. Be careful. All right,
she gave me a hard time. Yeah, because it says 3, or it did say 3. Did it just say 3 there? And Tom and I let people get away with
use 1 or more.
Yeah, with just 2, and we go on tangents. And she's like, I wanted to hear him answer some of the other ones there. So,
so pick a couple and let's.
I don't know. I got looking at number 6. Name your favorite camp landmark or location.
Yeah.
I can just remember whether it was coming up for preseason or whatever it was. Once you were on Route 30 and you kind of made that left-hand turn, you would always see the red caboose out there.
Yeah, interesting.
All the time. So then, once you saw that, you kind of knew, okay, we're here.
Yeah,
across that 1 year.
Yeah.
Across that, because sometimes that ride on Route 30 could kind of get a little monotonous. But once you kind of saw that civilization and you kind of turned that corner and you saw that, you're like, okay, wow, okay, now we're here.
Nice. That's our first caboose reference, I believe.
That is the first caboose reference. I painted that 1 year. And in the off season, they asked me to shovel the roof off. And did you know, after you shovel the snow off, it makes a pretty good pile underneath, and it's pretty fun to climb up there and jump into it from the top. That might have happened.
There you go.
Pretty cool. So caboose, we haven't talked about the caboose, have we?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's still there, and if it's still, wasn't it like a gift shop?
I think it was a gift shop a little bit. My Aunt Carolyn ran it. She ran the Trading Post, and she ran that too. I don't know if it still is. Good question. Should have noticed that, but it's been a bit. I got some catching up to do on some camp info.
Okay.
And then
good one, John.
Number 5. What were your jobs at camp? Okay. I think I started out at the gate.
Did you?
I did.
Gate.
I think it was
what year?
It may have been like 83, 84, maybe somewhere in there, maybe 85.
Okay.
But I know I was in gate at least for a year or two, and then I was in rec staff for at least another year or two, and then obviously got promoted to the barge crew after that.
Promoted, exactly.
It was definitely a promotion.
Yeah. Well, you had an interesting journey there because, again, I remember 86 you were on boats, 87 you were on rec staff, 88 you were back on boats.
Mm-hmm.
So
tell me, we haven't really covered how you even got to camp. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
how do you find out about camp or get?
I think Steve Solon had been up on camp, at least on staff, a year before.
Steve's a cousin.
Yes, cousin Steve,
That's right.
and I think he had been on there before, and he says, "Hey, this is great. You got to try it." I'm like, "Yeah, well, we can hang out all summer. It'd be great." And then obviously you just were hooked after you're being there for 10 minutes. You're hooked, and then
Yeah.
5 or 6 years, 5 or 6 summers later, it just becomes ingrained in your being. Like you look forward to that all year long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what is the rest of the year except for the summer?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, so good.
And with which camp person would you wish to reconnect? And obviously, talking to you guys, the memories just,
Yeah, both you guys were in my wedding.
yep,
Right.
yep,
Love it.
yep. And and again, it just goes to show the friendships that were formed, during those years stand the test of time.
Yeah. We had Nate Forrester on, last time, and he said the same thing very eloquently. I like stand the test of time. It's good. Yeah. But true.
But hence why we're still talking, 20 some odd years later.
Yeah.
30 some.
Yeah.
30 some.
Make me feel older.
Well, you are as old as you are.
No, that is true. But no, I mean the memories that we had and the stuff that we did. Obviously we just remember it like it was, last week.
Exactly.
And, the
Pretty
memories
wild.
that we had, the things that we did. You can still, I can still remember turning into, seeing the caboose there. I mean, driving up by Woodlands, and then you make the drive through the gate, and you remember seeing the old gym there, and you see all the, going up to Boys Park and going down by the TP, and obviously the point. Everything just seems so,
Let me ask you this: Do you remember a certain one summer? We decided they were going to do this thing, the air band contest.
Yep.
And we had a foursome we threw together. Three of us are on right now. Man, if only the Fab Four could reunite, and kind of remember how that all went down.
Well, let's take a look at this quick, and then we'll do that.
Okay. Okay, we were playing. This is some football. You guys decided to play a football game at Lake Pleasant Village. John cleaning up at safety, getting ready to take some set off. That's you and Jerry Curiali and Scott. Now, when we get to this next thing, right here, pause it real quick if you could. You guys had this idea where you were gonna.
Well, there's John right there.
Yeah, so that's John. It's Jerry Curiali, Scott, Mike Mazzano.
Mike Mazzano.
Yeah.
I don't know who's on the left.
Doing this angry, it was pretty wild to have that footage. And do you remember that, John?
I do.
Yeah, I sent that actually to Bobby Ballman and Nicole, his sister. Told them I had it, and I wrote about it in the book a little bit. And it's actually one of the shorts that's on. I haven't put it on YouTube yet, but I forgot you were there. The other team was Nate Forrester and Jay and Earl and Steve Bain, but I forgot to show Nate that last time we were on. But hopefully you'll see this, or I'll point it out to him. But a lot of familiar faces. But so now here's some
John doing his
ode action.
Yep.
Wow.
That stud. Did you see that?
Wow.
Look at this stud here.
It's back when I was cool.
Oh, you're still that.
I'm pretty sure you're still the rock and roll crustacean.
That's right.
No, that is true. I'm the one.
Okay.
I'm the kind of guy you want on your team for music trivia.
That's right.
All right, there's Mr. Mike and
Yep.
Showing some love. Yep.
Oh.
And skiing.
Here we go.
And skiing.
What just happened there?
I don't know.
I'll
Go back here. Look at your face. You're like,
Like what? That probably shouldn't happen.
that probably shouldn't happen.
But it did.
But it did.